In this, the part 2, we're talking all about the hunting. But quick background on part 1, if you missed it, I brought you up to speed on what it's like to farm these pecans. The challenges of getting them from this stage to this stage so you can actually sell them. We hunt with a couple thermals and a couple night visions, but the shots you'll see in a few minutes here, where you're seeing the footage through the scope, is done with this bad boy right here. It's a 308 Scar, and what you're seeing on top of it is a 5X 640 by 480 ATN thermal scope, 60 hertz. You're looking at the results of a crow hunt in my friend Bill's pecan orchard. Well, prior to setting up in the early morning for this crow hunt, Bill and I got there a little early and decided to walk through the pecan grove just before sunup to scan for hogs. Well, as you can see here, we came across a small herd. He and I each got 2 of them. Unfortunately, I did not have my recording device to record through the scope, so I'm just showing you the still picture afterwards. Seeing as how we had seen those hogs early in the morning, I decided to try it again in a similar time, and I came across these hogs as soon as I stepped into the grove. Now, as you can see, I had my recording device, so I decided, rather than taking this shot at nearly 100 yards, I would just stalk up closer to get good footage and hopefully have better chance at follow-up shots. Might be hard to believe, but this is actually 100 yards. The 5X magnification on that scope makes them look a lot closer. Now, I moved quick and got up in our 40-50 yards, set the camera up just in time to catch a glimpse of this. The hogs leaving the orchard in quick fashion. Not long after this, after the sun was up, probably 8 a.m., I decided to just walk through the grove just to see. Since it was daylight, I figured there's no sense bringing the camera, I probably won't see anything, and of course, these 2 are there. But unfortunately, no footage through the scope. Fast forward a few weeks, and we head out to the same spot just before sunup, around 6 a.m. The hogs are in the same place. I figured they're going to move quick, so we set up pretty quick, got our shooting in, and had a little success. This picture was taken after sunup, but the shooting was between 6 and 6:30 a.m. Now keep that in mind as we move forward through this day. We came back to this grove around 4:35 that evening to do a little squirrel hunting before we all took our spots throughout the grove, me in a hay bale looking at these critters. Well, shortly after I saw these, guns go off. Someone else got shooting. You can see hogs in the distance there. I'll spare you the footage of a couple shots I took at a long range. They look pretty good, but I didn't bring them down. There's a nice one running off in the woods just before I can get the reticle steadied. Well, this is all we had to show for it. Amanda's smiling so big here because we were giving her a hard time at the small hog. Well, truth be told, any hog's a good hog to get rid of as far as these farmers are concerned, and the fact of the matter is she did great shooting to hit that small target. We all went and grabbed a bite to eat and headed for home. Me, of course, I had to head back to the grove. I get there, I'm doing my usual critter watching like this from that same stand with the hay bales. And I watched this deer for quite a while. Now in a minute here, you're going to see this deer pause behind some branches. It stopped, looked into the woods, and I watched and waited over by the woods. Nothing came out. Just as I was releasing the button on my scope, a hog popped into view. Okay, right about here you can see the deer stop behind the branches and look in the woods. I turned my scope on as fast as I could and the hog was still there, of course. It's a big one, 160 plus pounds, a boar, at about 35 yards. You can see here the deer that tipped me off originally is staring back to see what it's going to do. Soon after that shot, I walk through the grove, looking around, and I find these 2 hogs. I slip my shoes off and go stocking foot because you can walk quiet and not crunch the pecans. As you can imagine, I'm tired, so I head back to camp for a couple hours of sleep before I head back around 5 something in the morning to my favorite spot by the hay bales. Get the camera turned on, and this is what I see. I decide I'm going to try to get these lined up to shoot 2 hogs with 1 bullet. I think with this .308 bullet, it'd be a piece of cake if the shot were on target. Well, instead of getting 2, I get none. This reticle looks pretty good, but apparently the gun was shooting a little low. Now pay attention here in just a second and you'll see that the kill shot is made with the reticle being higher than one would expect. Watch right about now. Oh well, that's hunting, and the filming helps me learn. Well, here's 3 of those last 4 hogs. It's 8 or 9 in the morning and it's time to get to work cleaning them. If you paid attention, you'll notice that in less than a 24-hour period of time, we had 5 different counters with hogs. It was quite a day. As you can imagine, these hogs are pretty tasty, eating pecans and acorns and corn and soybeans from farmer's field. Here's a little step-by-step picture of a field dressing technique Hal from hogswat.com showed me. Take advantage whenever possible to get a hold of this tasty meat. Thanks for watching.